Está começando mais uma jornada esportiva aqui na Times Brasil. A narração é de sucesso, os comentários é de quem entende, hein? Então vem com a gente, não vai perder essa jornada esportiva. Times Brasil, paixão pelo futebol.
Está chegando agora no canal? Não esquece de se inscrever e deixar aquele like. Seu apoio é fundamental para nossas transmissões. Times Brasil, a casa do futebol alternativo.
Rudolf Austin. Lord Bernard, coach of 2022, having won All-Ireland titles with Kingston College at the schoolboy football level, and of course with Harbour View at the Premier League level. Well, look at the speed from Rudolf Austin. And that probably doesn't show Colorado Murray in a fantastic light. But he has kept up to the pace, Rudolf Austin. This is Seagull Night. Trey Bennett being asked to play in the middle of the park for Harbour View there, number 14, as one of the holding midfielders. Usually plies his trade at right back, Bennett. But in the absence of Kasim Priestley, he's hoping to make a mark in the holding midfield area. Bennett. There he is, finding Hamilton. Well, that was Anglin rather, not Bennett. Lewis kept that one. There was a handled ball there from Lewis. There's Bennett. Usually plays on the right side of the defense, deputy to O'Shane Staple, more often than not, playing the holding midfield area for the Stars of the East. Knight. Myers now for Portmore United.
Belezinha, pessoal, tô aqui. Acabei de narrar um jogão da Copa São Paulo Juniores, né? 15 de Jaú, 1 Aparecidense, nada. Agora estamos aqui com a Premier League jamaicana, Portmore United e Harbour, Vere. Aí, não sei falar direito em inglês, né? Mas tá aí, bola rolando, 8ª rodada da primeira divisão da Jamaica, né? A equipe do Portmore, né? É o 7º colocado. O Harbour é o 3º colocado, né? O Harbour, 3º colocado. Se vencer, vai para 18 pontos, né? Vai para a 2ª colocação. O Portmore tem 11 pontos. Se vencer, vai para 14, vai ficar na 6ª colocação. São 14 equipes lá na Jamaica correndo atrás da bola na Premier League jamaicana, temporada 2022-2023, beleza? Vou deixar a narração aí local, narração em inglês. No intervalo eu venho para participar com vocês, para ler os comentários, e depois no segundo tempo vou tentar narrar para vocês, tá bom? Acabei de narrar um jogo para vocês, um jogão da Copinha, um jogo com mais de 100 minutos, né? Tivemos ali 48 minutos na primeira etapa, mais 53 minutos no segundo tempo. Então agora vou jantar, deixar aqui o campinho virtual para vocês acompanharem a movimentação de ambos os times, a narração local em inglês, né? Que a Jamaica eles falam inglês, né? Tá bom? E no intervalo eu venho falar com vocês, ler os comentários e no segundo tempo vou tentar narrar para vocês, beleza? Continuem aqui na Times Brasil, canal apaixonado por futebol. Apaixonado por futebol. Só peço o like, né? Esse like é muito importante. E se inscreva no canal para não perder o nosso conteúdo, beleza? Bora ouvir a narração em inglês aí. Espero que vocês gostem aí da Liga Jamaicana na Times Brasil 0-0, 9 minutos.
Harding. Referee says play on, and they do. Beadle. Rousseau. Knight. Lovely distribution from Austin to Rousseau. Looking for the return ball from Beadle, wasn't accurate. The flag went up for offside anyway. Both teams, obviously you can see that you're trying to do the basics right as Harding steps into the middle of the park. Staple, also quite adventurous at times. Shepherd was trying to get to the end of it, but the deflection took it away. Picked up by Anglin. Murray's effort, charged down. Figured that there was an opportunity to just place it in the path of Timar Lewis, who was making a run inside the area.
Yeah, put up his hand to apologize as well, Murray. Nothing wrong with the strike though, but yeah, Timar Lewis just made that run. Colorado Murray ended up the MVP of the final.
Yep, did score the goal pretty early on at Savannah Park.
Yeah.
Did Colorado Murray.
40 goals in his Premier League career, 7 last season.
Yeah.
To go with his 1 assist. He so far has just 2 this season. He's a quality player, Colorado Murray.
Yeah, happy for him that he was able to win his first title. Did get the run-up spot a couple seasons before with Waterhouse, but finally got a hold on the big one with Harbour View. That's a high boot coming in from Staple.
Former Golden Boot winner as well, Colorado Murray.
Referee actually said play on. Found it a little bit surprising. But referee nation was right there when the incident occurred. Emilio Rousseau can't believe that The call didn't go in his favor. There's Colorado Murray, as we were speaking about him. Was very emotional at the end of the final. Hugged his coach, Ludler Bernard. Was grateful that he was able to win a title with the Stars of the East.
Yeah.
Tamar Lewis to deliver. Here it comes. And wonderful collection by Benjamin Williams. Looking to start the attack immediately. And Portmore United on the prowl here. What can they do? Late challenge, free kick. Gawain Austin was clipped there.
I don't think there's much in it. Yeah. Oh, did hit his head though. And fall. Bad fall for him. His head went hard into the turf, and that's what he's feeling there. He'll have a headache later.
He's probably having a headache now. More spectators in for the second game, the feature game of the doubleheader, which isn't surprising. Arnett Gardens with the support, and of course spectators from both these teams. It's a free kick for Portmore United in the meantime. Joseph Lester to deliver. Overcooked a little. Tevin Scott is trying to get on the end of it.
Not a bad delivery. In fact, both Tevin Scott, I'm not sure who was beside him, if it was Satchwell, were free, but the ball was just a little bit too high. Just 6 goals so far this season, Portmore. And it must be said, in the 2 matches they played against Harbourview last season, they failed to score. Both 2-0 wins to Harbourview.
Bennett, I'm sure, glad to be back between the sticks. Was shown confidence by his coach, Ludler Bernard, during the majority of last season. Mars just putting that one into touch. Lewis. Anglin. Lovely. Anglin. Kept it too long as he tried to make his way through a body of players. Now he goes the other way with Scott. Austin. Scott wasn't expecting a return pass. Colorado Murray now looking for options. Switches the angle of the play. Lewis has it. Anglin goes long. Hamilton won't get there.
Of course, both teams undefeated. Harbourview, 4 wins and 3 draws from their 7 matches. Portmore, 2 wins and 5 draws. Portmore have been superior defensively than Harbourview, but Harbourview the better offensive team.
Hamilton on it. Hamilton sends it across. Lewis heads it down. It's with Shepherd. It's with Staple now. Staple with the overweight pass there.
It almost looked like a shot from Staple, who quite used to goal scoring. O'Shane Staple has one already this season and scored 5 last season. So it's a goal scoring wing back. Was the best right back in the Premier League last year, O'Shane Staple. His lone goal came in the 4-1 victory over Dunbeholden in match week 2. O'Shane Staple.
Started like a house on fire last season, did Staple. But then he had an injury and kind of just slowed him down for the remainder of
dislocated his shoulder, actually.
Yep.
Slowed him down for a couple of matches, but he did finish the season well. His Staple got back to his usual, always running aggressive self.
Myers now. Here's Harbour view. Lewis stabs it back to Shepherd. Not sure who Shepherd is trying to find there. Maybe he was half anticipating a run just outside him from angling. Staple now. They aren't afraid to start from the back again, Harbour view. Harding, Murray, Hamilton couldn't thread that one through. Bennett. The give and go wasn't working on that occasion.
Yeah, they've been quite patient. Shane Staple had to get way back because he had overlapped so much. Good fitness shown by the Harbour view wing back.
We're watching a decent game so far, Chris Taylor.
Yeah, as expected. 2 well-coached teams, 2 undefeated teams. One a little bit more defensive, who will look to score on the counter. That would be Portmore and Harbour view. Because they have so many players confident now in terms of goal scoring, a lot more players driving forward, and they use the width well. Timar Lewis, who does touch that ball there, their number 11, seen here. Oh, he's certainly going through a purple patch.
He is. This is Bennett. All along the turf. Lovely touch inside. And what a challenge that was from the veteran Rudolph Austin, denying Colorado Murray.
Lovely first touch by Murray. He's a quality striker, you know, Colorado Murray. But Rudolph Austin, he hasn't played all those games for nothing. Now what, 37 years? 37 years of age. Oh yeah, that was a wonderful tackle. He looks fitter as well, does Rudolph Austin. He's moving a lot better. He looks a lot more agile than we saw him last season. 2 seasons ago, he did complain that he didn't like playing on the AstroTurf of the Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence, and so dodged, we would like to say, most of those games, but enjoys the grass, and I think he's done quite a bit of work on his fitness. And he, as he said, looks a lot more agile. That sprint across at the start of the game to get in Nicholas Hamilton's way was impressive. I was going to say to you he could do it once, but I'd love to see him repeat that 4 or 5 times. That's where the 37-year-old legs may show versus a Hamilton who is young and ready. Well, let's see. That was a top tackle.
Harding on it. First touch inside wasn't the best from Hamilton. Harbour view with the majority of the possession at 56%. Staple. Talbot. Stray ball from Talbot. trying to find Harding. Portmore United, they've had this St. Lucian connection. Several of their players from St. Lucia, although one of their goal scorers missing this evening in Jerry McFarlane. Here they come though, and this one is dragged wide of the mark from Shaquan Satchwell, who's been silent so far in this game, trying to make an impact and open his account in the Jamaica Premier League. Shaquan Satchwell.
I was about to say I'm not so sure that the 3-5-2 formation suits him well, because he has to play as a centre forward. But I probably would like to see him in a more of a 4-3-3 where he's able to play on the flank and cut in and has a lot more space. I think that's where he's more dangerous. But yeah, he's coached by Philip Williams at the high school level, and I guess maybe trying to expose him more, broaden his scope. But yeah, that's one of the few touches he's got so far, whereas when he plays wide, he's involved a lot more.
Yeah.
Granted, that is at a lower level, but I do think he has a quality to cause problems. He's a very intelligent player as well, is Shaquan Satchwell. Two-footed, which is a rarity. Here he is.
Lewis. And
oh, well.
I guess that's just because he's not involved in the play as much as he would like. Satchwell showing a little bit of frustration there.
Yeah, he needs to be a little bit careful here. Just look at this. Gets his arm around Lewis. Yeah, and that could have been a yellow card. That's reckless from Satchwell. We're not used to seeing that kind of behavior from him, and he needs not to get carried away. I think Coach Nation is saying that to him. Timar Lewis can't believe it. He's in shock, actually. Yeah, he needs to be careful, Satchwell. He doesn't need that. I was going to say strength is an area that will probably be exposed here. We saw it yesterday with a lot of the Chapelton Maroon players who come from Clarendon College, where, yeah, playing with schoolboys much different to the adult male in terms of strength and physicality.
But he's not the weakest, let me just add.
Well, I should hope so.
Definitely can hold his own, but as you said, bigger level as Lewis punts that one to the back post, and it's nodded behind by Stephen Young.
Coming into his own more and more, Stephen Young. Young player, comes from Trelawney. And had a few howlers last season for Portmore. Was asked to play the centre-back role and struggled, especially left centre-back. I think the right-hand side of the defence is better for him. And he's become more and more solid in there.
Nicholas Hamilton now with the delivery. Austin is in the way. Oh, lovely take that was.
Yeah, Lewis is a confident player now.
Anglin. Hamilton. He's trying to switch the play. Intercepted. Beadle managed to get the ball off to Satchwell. Shaquan Satchwell. What can he do here? Twisting, turning, delivering, over-delivering. But Portmore still with the possession. Gawain Austin.
You notice when he has a space, that skill.
Austin's delivering inside, no issues there for the Harbour View custodian.
Yeah, Satchwell, when he does get the space, his ability to move past players, and because he's two-footed, you never know as a defender which way to go. I like him more there. I'm not so sure in terms of matching him up as a centre forward with those big defenders just yet. But when he pulls out wide, as you saw there, this was the first time he's pulled out wide. He looks like he can make things happen. And let me tell you, he's pretty accurate with his passes, even though that one has a little overhit. He will put some telling balls into the area.
The conundrum is, though, that he's one of the strikers. When he puts the ball into the area, who is he aiming for? Does the system allow him to find the players when he's on the ball, especially when he pulls off wide like that?
But that's why I question him playing as a centre forward. How many goals did he score as a main man in the area in schoolboy football? Of what? 13 goals he scored. I don't think he scored any like that. And that's my point.
Now he requires some attention. Shaquan Satchwell. 14 goals and 9 assists to his name. Forced an technical during the schoolboy football season. He and his coach went all the way to the final and missed out on their first title in about 3.5 decades.
They were one
penalty shootout.
They were one penalty kick away.
We wouldn't see a lot of this in the past. We're seeing it more regularly now. Youngsters making that transition right out of high school into the Premier League. And
I haven't seen any blow the Premier League away though. So even though there have been a lot of entrants, I can't say I've seen any really stamp their class just yet. As expected, it does take them a few years.
yeah,
We spoke yesterday about Dwayne Busy at Kingston and how he's been playing the Premier League from 16. But as I said, it's taken a few years. It's his fourth season.
same can be said of Trayvon Reed.
Yeah, it took him a while as well. So,
Although not as long as other players.
but his season last year was his best, Trayvon Reed, and he's been playing for quite a few years.
See the late challenge coming in. I'm thinking of a Jamaica College youngster who I thought did very well in coming from the schoolboy football level to the Premier League level.
Very well,
Norman
yes.
Campbell. I thought he did really well
Yeah,
within
but
his first couple of years.
How long was he in it?
Because
he was okay.
he got the transfer to overseas.
Yeah, I thought he was okay, but I don't think there's been any dominance from a schoolboy
Well,
yet.
here's a chance for Jamon Shepherd. I think he was in a couple of minds here. I think he wanted to lay it off to Lewis, who was on his right. Then in the end, took the shot. They didn't have a lot of power behind it. Yeah. I think he was in just a couple of minds there. Ended up doing little in the end. He was also another standout at the schoolboy football level, Jamon Shepherd. Of course, Chris Taylor is just saying standout is relative. The point I was making that it's good to see a number of them flooding their way into the Premier League, and I can tell you,
I certainly agree with that.
I can tell you that, of course, it's an inexpensive option these days, getting youngsters, but the Premier League feels different.
Yeah.
It's not a retirement home anymore.
Harbour paved the way, and then Cavalier took it to another level.
And won a title.
Yeah, won a title with that style.
Yeah.
Or that template. So yeah, great to see them getting added experience. What I'd like to see is the ones who then go back to the high school level. I would like them to prove that they have played at a higher level. Let us see that experience. Let us see now that dominance at the high school level. I haven't seen that enough. Even this season just finished, some of the Premier League players didn't stand out leaps and bounds above the rest. But anyhow,
I almost wanted Dejon Richards to be a part of the Jamaica Premier League just to see what it would be like with him playing as a striker in this league.
Well, this player we're seeing tonight.
I also understand the opportunity that he has gotten to go overseas.
Of course. And not to knock the Premier League, but of course, some of these clubs, especially in Europe and so on, better setups, better systems, better players. So when you're playing with better players, it does raise your level. It forces you to get better rather than plateau. So
I'm going to put you on the spot, Chris Taylor, because a couple of players have gone on to be signed by players in the USL. We're not talking the MLS here. We're talking the USL. Are you disappointed with that trajectory?
No. I still think that the US system is more professional than ours at the moment. Not a knock on our system, but more encouragement to do better, to get better. And I think little by little, yes, the Jamaica Premier League is getting better. It's getting more viewership. Things are getting a little bit more professional. The advent of the Premier League committee as well, or the team in charge. But yeah, I do think that the American setup as it is now a lot more professional, and the system a bit better. So still a good move.
Speaking of a good move, that one was well done as it went across the staple on the right hand side here, getting more involved into this game.
And just in terms of learning about contract setup, the ability to earn more money, the culture adjustment, all those things are important in a professional sportsman's development. I think those things are very important. That's why I encourage coaches to go overseas and coach as well. If you look at most of the successful coaches around the world, they have gone outside of their country, outside of their comfort zone, and built their experience, built their resume. And then when they come back, they are much better off. They win titles. They transform academies and so on. So for the players as well, that's certainly something that we should encourage. And we are seeing more of that because quite a few players have been signed in the last few years, especially since Premier League has been fully televised. I think it has helped both the Premier League and schoolboy football.
For talents to be exposed.
Whether to college, whether to clubs, etc. So yeah, the USL is still a positive move. What you also like to see is when players go overseas. So for example, Jason Wright, who just played for Molynes, as we see an injury here, he was in Romania for 6 months on a contract and so on. So when you see the players now coming back towards the Premier League, they have that experience to pass on to other players. And that is how you continue to develop.
Some people would look at that and say, okay, it's a waste of time. We see Nicholas Nelson coming back, or will be coming back soon for Molynes United, just away for a couple of months on loan
in Guatemala,
with the option to buy in Guatemala.
Yeah.
They have opted not to purchase him. Yeah, there's a coming together of the heads. But many people would look at it and say, okay, that's a waste of time. He's done so well out here, Nicholas Nelson. The hope was for him to light it up.
Two men from the opposite ends of the pitch. Damian Hyatt of Dunbeholden, Paul Teagat Davis, former national striker and leading goal scorer for quite a while.
They would have known each other with their time at Arnett Gardens right here, of course, with Teagat Davis coaching Arnett Gardens for a couple of years, had a couple of stints with the Junglists. The former leading scorer at the national level.
SEBA legend. But yeah, as you say, that's just part of the development. You get outside exposure. Guatemala in Central America, a non-English speaking country, he would have had to have adapted, learned the language to a certain extent. All those things are part of a player's development. Now he can come back and say, well, look, this is what the experience was like, how their disciplinary systems are set up, how you go about training, all of those things. Yeah, right. Comprende. So I think it's excellent just for the development of our game here locally. And if you think about it from another standpoint, as we see half of you coming forward.
Yep, Staple on it, swings this one at the back post, headed away.
The St. Lucian players coming to Jamaica, it's a similar thing for them. If you think about it, where our Premier League is better than what they have in the Eastern Caribbean. So they look at this as an option, as an opportunity.
Satchwell does well to win it. Cuts inside. Oh, the shot is just over the bar. We saw the curl from here. It would have been on target if it was just a little bit lower.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when Shakon Satchwell gets into the wide areas. He is a very skillful player, and he has a dangerous shot on him from outside the 18-yard box. He's disappointed he did not score, Donna, let me tell you that, or at least hit the target, because he's bent quite a few into the top corner in schoolboy football this season and had one of the goals of the season as well, which came in the semi-final. So, yeah, more of that from him, and Portmore will be in business. O'Shane Staple will have to be careful.
And the good thing is that some of these youngsters making their way to the Premier League level, they are not overawed by the occasion, because he's done it in front of a lot more spectators inside the National Stadium.
Yeah. But the awareness of the higher level is something that will take some form of adjustment. As I said, the physicality and so on, you don't get that much time and space on the ball. So those are the areas that the high school footballers will have to adjust to and learn.
Here's Staple. Lewis. Couldn't keep his footing. Oh, that's lovely from Satchwell. And the call goes in his favor. He's probably just going to fit right in, Shaquan Satchwell.
And remember, many will argue that it was both himself and Dijon Richards are the two best players in schoolboy football this season. I know some Clarendon supporters might have something to argue about that, but Satchwell was right up there. He's certainly in the top 5, I would say, maybe even top 3. So
yeah, just a reminder, 14 goals, 9 assists. He wouldn't have topped the charts, so to speak.
Yeah. I personally think he's right up in the top 2 of what we saw in schoolboy football on the attacking side of things. Just his intelligence, his two-footed ability, which is a rare thing. So he is a good, what would you say, guinea pig, if you want to say, in terms of let us see what he does at the higher level here, the Premier League level. He's playing it, and he's one of the best, if not the best, that the high school football arena showed this season. So let's see.
You just hope that these youngsters won't settle and they'll always strive to be better. Be better at their craft, in their own minds, in their execution.
And I think that's the thinking of Philip Williams as well. He was the best he had at St. Andrew Technical, so okay, let me give you some more experience, exposure. You dominated that level. This is the big man's game. Let's see how you adjust here. And of course they'll be thinking of bigger things outside of the country and so on as well. But for the time being, let us tune you.
Let's not forget that he actually came from Haile Selassie. That's where it all began for him, before St. Andrew Technical spotted him and used him for the just concluded season.
Yeah.
Imagine what Haile Selassie would have been though if they had him, because they went all the way to the Walker Cup as well.
I was about to say they had a pretty good season. Got to the final of the Walker Cup only to lose, and made it to, what was it, the quarter final of the Manning Cup, or it was the second round they lost. Rudolph Austin, I'm sure he will have many words of advice for Satchwell and young captain Cecil Knight as well.
Harding on it now for Harbour View. Ball sent inside and claimed by Benjamin Williams, trying to start an attack, but it was wonderfully read by Ajani Talbot. Angling now to Shepherd. Shepherd was trying to send it out wide and puts a foot in.
Dangerous.
Yeah, free kick to Portmore United. There's the other St. Lucian in the middle of the park, Joseph Lester.
So 3 in the squad.
Yep.
Lester, Alvinus Myers, and yeah,
Javik McFarlane.
Javik McFarlane.
Of course, Lester coming from Platinum FC in St. Lucia, 29 years old, and looking to
all play
make
in the national
a mark.
team. All playing the St. Lucia national team, who have been making quite some headway in the Nations League. They qualified, I think it was for Nations B, is it, or C, which is the first time in their history. Stern John, the Trinidad and Tobago legendary forward, is their national coach. What a forward he was too, Stern John. Good career in the English Premier League, and leading goal scorer for Trinidad and Tobago, over 70 goals I think it is for the national team.
It's going to take some time for that record to be
Let
broken,
me
I
tell
can
you.
tell you.
And they have had quality forwards. None better than Dwight York.
Best known for his time, of course, at Manchester United. There's a player at Tivoli Gardens by the name of Tommy Lawrence.
Yes.
That I'm sure would have reminded you of a particular Liverpool legend.
Scored a couple of matches ago as well.
Yeah,
Lawrence
he did.
opened his account.
Opened his account a few matches ago. Here's Rohan Bida now. That was a tame ball inside, wasn't it? Shepherd tried to win it from from Knight, and Austin was there to just mop up the play, and almost mopped up the play in the process.
There's Gawain.
Yep, that's the other Austin.
I must say, so mature of Rudolph Austin as well, just to, you know, as a man of his experience, he's been the captain of the...
Here's Murray. Get back to that in a moment.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a foul. He's captained the Reggae Boys, he's captained Leeds, he's captained so many teams, and yet he's willing to play in this unit and not take the captain's armband, allow for the development of other players, hence Knight, who I can say went to his alma mater as well, both Clarendon College graduates.
We can tell you that the yellow card has been shown to Nicholas Hamilton for that challenge. Hamilton saying that it was accidental, but quite a few challenges are accidental, to be fair.
Not known for his challenges, Nicholas Hamilton did have a reckless one early in the game on the right-hand side of the, on the left-hand side of the field. Got away with that one. Not this. Can't say those shin pads are doing much. They're certainly the miniature version.
Some players go for comfort more than protection these days.
You say comfort, eh?
We're talking shin pads.
Myers. Another St. Lucian.
Leicester. Two minutes of stoppages to be played. That's what we're hearing from downstairs.
There's Alvinus Myers. Plays right back for St. Lucia, the national team. Did have the captain's armband for a while last season, Alvinus Myers. It was shared quite a bit, let me tell you, in their attempt to find leadership and resurrect their season.
Bennett out wide now to Timar Lewis. Play being switched to, well, Staple has allowed it for Hamilton. Hamilton, they were a little bit reckless from Rousseau. Free kick.
Yeah, and Rousseau looked like he almost like he threw her arm as well. Probably didn't like the attempted skill. Look there. Ooh. Yeah, and there again you're throwing an arm. Rousseau just has to be careful. That can be at least a yellow if he's not careful.
But it's at least an opportunity for Harbour View here to go ahead in this contest in stoppage time. Will they make use of the opportunity? Wall being pushed back 10 yards. So Anglin is behind this. So too is Timar Lewis. Those are the service providers. Get the feeling it could be the left foot of Lewis with this one. It's a three-man wall constructed.
No doubt.
They've sent bodies inside the box. Harbour View. I think referee nation is finally ready. Anglin has left it for Lewis into the wall. Lewis again with another opportunity, this time from the corner kick. There's the service. Failure. Try again though. Another corner kick. Not a whole lot of time remaining. Lewis again. Deja vu. This time it's a throw. Wasted efforts in the end. Staple. Lewis. Rousseau doing enough. That's the halftime whistle. Cage the game. Interesting encounter. A chance for Shaquan Satchwell. His second start for Portmore United. Making the transition to the higher levels here. But the chances have been few and far between for both these teams. But it's been a battle of attrition so far, especially in the middle of the park. And that's what we expect from two of the three teams in the league.
Está chegando agora no canal? Não esquece de se inscrever e deixar aquele like. Seu apoio é fundamental para nossas transmissões. Times Brasil, a casa do futebol alternativo. Já pensou em ajudar com o desenvolvimento do canal? Agora você pode, pelo Pix pasarela@live.com. Você colabora com o nosso crescimento. Times Brasil, paixão pelo futebol. Está chegando agora no canal? Não esquece de se inscrever e deixar aquele like. Seu apoio é fundamental para nossas transmissões. Times Brasil, a casa do futebol alternativo.
Belezinha, pessoal, belezinha. Tô eu de volta aqui, intervalinho. Fizemos agora há pouco, né, o jogo da Copa São Paulo de Juniores. E agora na sequência viemos aqui para Jamaica, tá bom? Tô com a narração aí local, né, narração em inglês aí, porque acabei de narrar um jogo. Então não consegui narrar outro, porque senão a garganta não aguenta e amanhã tem mais, beleza? Peço a compreensão de cada um de vocês. Mas tá aí o campinho virtual, as escalações, o tempo de jogo, o placar, né? 0 a 0. Tem a narração em inglês aí para vocês acompanharem também. E é isso aí, beleza? Na tela aí as estatísticas, né? Também tem até as estatísticas, né? Tem tudo aí, ó. Pra você não perder nada, só falta aquele like, aquele likezão pra fortalecer nosso trabalho, beleza? Ó, embaixo aí você pode ver, ó, as estatísticas do jogo, ó. Posse de bola, 34% de bola com o Portmore United contra 66% de bola do Harbour. O Harbour tem 66% de bola, hein? Equipe visitante. Jogando mais, atacando bastante. Tem noção, foram 4 tiros de canto, né? 4 escanteios. Todos os escanteios, os 4 foram do Harbour. Tá certo? Vamos ver aqui o pessoal participando aqui no chat. Nosso intervalo triunfante. Deixa eu ver quem tá aqui na live. Tem o Super variados. Vamos, time, faz gol fora. Quer que a equipe de fora faça gol. O Harbour aí, o super variados, torcendo para a equipe de visitante. O Jadson Brito, bora Harbour. Ó, mais um aí torcendo pro Harbour, hein? Mais um. O Alírio Queiroz. Gol! Necessito mais de 1.5 HP. Yellow Card, é isso mesmo. O Alírio Queiroz. Num pena hostia. Então, daí não compreendi. E o Adriano Machado, me ferrei. Ih, de novo, Adriano, de novo. O Jadson Brito, bora, Harbour, né? Isso aí, intervalinho aqui na Jamaica, né? Lá em Kingston capital da Jamaica, 0-0. Jogando de bola da 8ª rodada da Premier League jamaicana. 0-0 com esse placar. O Harbour continua na terceira colocação, indo para 16 pontos. Se o Harbour conseguir vencer, vai para 18 pontos, assume a vice-liderança, vai para segundo lugar. Já com esse empate, o Portmore United está indo para 12 pontos e vai para a 6ª colocação. Sobe aí uma casinha, vai para 6º colocado o Portmore com esse empate. Mas se vencer, vai para 14 pontos. Aí depende do saldo de gols aí. Mas a tendência é ficar em 6º, né? Se empatar ou vencer o Portmore. Já o Harbour, nome difícil de falar, né? Harbour, Pierre. Se vencer, vai para 18, vai para segundo lugar. Nos últimos 5 jogos, né? O Portmore venceu 2 e empatou 3. E a equipe do Harbour visitante também aí nos últimos 5 jogos foram 2 vitórias e 3 empates. Nos últimos 3 confrontos de ambos os times, né, se enfrentando, nos últimos 3 jogos foram 2 vitórias do Harbour e um empate, hein? Nos últimos 3 jogos dos dois times contra si, né? O Harbour venceu 2 e teve um empate. Beleza? Muito obrigado pela sua audiência, pela sua participação. Muito importante, beleza? Conosco no chat aí o Adriano Machado, o Alírio Queiroz, o Jadson Brito e o Super Variado também participando na audiência. Muito importante, temos aí 13 likes. Por favor, deixa o like, não custa nada. Esse incentivo aí é muito, muito importante, beleza? Deixa eu ver aqui como que tá o jogo lá do Floresta, né? O jogo do Flamengo contra o Floresta. Lá pela Copinha, né? Uma competição muito bacana. Flamengo e Floresta 0-0. Passar aqui rapidamente pela nossa programação. Olha só que legal. Amanhã, aqui na Times Brasil, a partir das 8 horas da noite, tem mais Copa São Paulo de Juniores. Amanhã, às 8 da noite, iremos fazer Havaí e Ceilândia. Na quarta-feira, dia 4, às 8 horas e 15 minutos, tem Sampaio Correia e Itabaiana. Quarta-feira, Sampaio Correia e Itabaiana, a partir das 8h15. Na quinta-feira tem Copa do Nordeste, fase de qualificação. Tem América de Natal e Motoclube. Na sexta-feira voltamos para a Copa São Paulo de Juniores. Aí vai ter América de Natal de novo, só que dessa vez pela Copinha. América de Natal e Havaí na sexta às 8 horas. Sabadão vão ser 2 jogos. Às 19 horas tem Red Bull Bragantino versus ABC pela Copa São Paulo de Juniores. E às 22h10, né? Às 10h10 da noite tem a Liga Mexicana. A Liga MX, tá? Agora é pra valer. Atlas e Toluca, certo? Fica o convite aí para os próximos jogos, você se inscrever aqui no canal, se não é inscrito ainda, todos aí acompanharem, beleza? Continua, 38 minutos, Flamengo 0, Floresta 0 pela Copa São Paulo de Juniores. Hoje tivemos aí alguns jogos da competição, né? Hoje iniciou-se o futebol aqui no Brasil, a Copa São Paulo. Deixa eu ver aqui no chat, o pessoal participando no chat. O Adriano Machado, apostei que sairia 4 gols nesse jogo. Ih, rapaz, 4 gols por enquanto. Foi 0-0, hein? O Luiz do Grau, aposto no 2-1 fora. Boa sorte, Luiz, muito boa sorte. Fora vence 2-1. Boa sorte, Luiz do Grau. Ah, volta o mexicano. Volta o mexicano. Vai ser o clausura agora da Liga MX, né? Volta assim, Adriano. Vai ser top demais. Ó, hoje, os jogos da Copa São Paulo de Juniores. Os jogos encerrados aí. Penapolense, 0. Capivariano, 4. O Cruzeiro SAD, né? Cruzeiro aí, empresa aí, o Cruzeiro de Minas Gerais. 5. Comercial do Mato Grosso do Sul, 0. Cruzeiro 5. Comercial do Mato Grosso do Sul, 0. Brancana 1, Guarani 4, Grêmio Portalegrense Grêmio 0, Cruzeiro de Arapiraca, lá de Goiás, lá de Alagoas, né? Grêmio e Cruzeiro de Arapiraca 0-0. O 15 de Jaú, nós transmitimos, 15 de Jaú 1, Aparecidense 0. E agora bola rolando, 40 minutos da primeira etapa, Flamengo e Floresta 0-0. Este jogo aí, vou dar uma dica, né? Pessoal, aí eu acho que vai dar mais de 1.5 lá no jogo do Flamengo, tá? Mais de 1.5. Hoje na Premier League, jogando fora de casa, o Liverpool perdeu, hein? Brentford 3, Liverpool 1. Isso na Inglaterra. E na França, o Strasbourg perdeu pro Troyes 3-2. O Lille empatou com o Reims em 1-1. O Montpellier perdeu em casa para o Olympique de Marseille 2-1 e o Rennes venceu o Nice por 2-1. Hoje, mais cedo, aqui na Jamaica, o Dunbeholden perdeu para o Molynes 1-0. E é isso aí, são poucos jogos nesse início de 2023. Intervalinho já, a bola volta a rolar para a segunda etapa. E falar para vocês, a equipe visitante, o Harbour, Vere, tá jogando bem, tá jogando para buscar a vitória, buscar os 3 pontos. A equipe visitante tá bem no jogo, hein? Tá bem no jogo. Eu acho que chegando no tempo, os gols irão acontecer. Agora no ao vivo, ó, tô vendo aqui as cotações, as odds ao vivo do jogo, ao intervalo. Para o Portmore United vencer, tá pagando 5.5. Já no empate, pagando 2.0. 2.0, Portmore e Harbour no empate 2.0. E na possível vitória do Harbour, tá pagando 2.50. Pra você ver, pagando 5.50 no Portmore, 5.50 no Portmore e 2.50 no Harbour. No ao vivo, né? A cotação no ao vivo aí, olha só o dobro, né? Estão pagando mais ali pro Portmore. A equipe do Harbour foi melhor na primeira etapa, mas vamos ver como que vai ser o segundo tempo, né? Tem toda uma história aí pra acontecer na segunda etapa. Beleza? Quero te agradecer pela sua presença aqui, pela sua audiência, é muito importante. Cada like, cada comentário, cada participação ou o nosso incentivo para fazer essas lives aqui no canal da Times Brasil. Você que tá aí de bobeira, deixa o like, por favor, me ajuda aí, beleza? O Luiz falou o seguinte: apostei mais de 2,5 na partida toda. O Luiz precisa de 3 gols o mais rápido possível. Luiz, boa sorte. Muito boa sorte. Já tem a segunda etapa. O Portmore United e o Harbour Vere Futebol Clube, né? Vamos ver. Torcer para vir aqueles gols, pro pessoal bater aqueles bilhetes e todo mundo encher o bolso e dar risada à toa, né? Daqui a pouquinho a bola volta a rolar pra segunda etapa. Aproveita e deixa aquele like pra me ajudar. Por favor, deixa o likezão pra nos ajudar.
Se está chegando agora no canal, não esquece de se inscrever e deixar aquele like. Seu apoio é fundamental para nossas transmissões. Times Brasil, a casa do futebol alternativo.
Isso mesmo, a casa do futebol alternativo, ó. Deixa eu ver aqui. Na movimentação, a bola vai rolar, hein? Vamos lá. Vai recomeçar o jogo, hein? Vai recomeçar o jogo. As equipes estão lá se posicionando, os jogadores se organizando em campo. Vai começar, vai começar. Vai recomeçar o jogo. Tudo pronto, hein? É só o árbitro apitar que a bola rola, hein? Vamos lá, vai recomeçar a partida lá em Kingston, na capital jamaicana. Vamos para o segundo tempo entre Portmore United e Harbour Vere. Vai recomeçar o jogo. As equipes estão se organizando. Ali o camisa 18 ali do Portmore. Vamos lá. Tudo pronto. Vamos lá, meu juizão. Eu quero ver essa bola rolar. Eu quero gol. Eu quero é gol. Quem quer gol, levanta a mão pra cima e deixa o like. Quem quer gol, levanta a mão pra cima e deixa o like. Os super variados, como eu aposto no Redcap 2.2-0, né? Alguém sabe dizer? O Adriano, explica aí pro super variados que o Adriano Machado é especialista nas apostas. Explica aí, hein? Explica pro rapaz. Beleza? Ó, tudo pronto, hein? Teve ali algumas alterações. Ah, a bola vai voltar a rolar. Ali o técnico. O técnico ali passando orientações. Engraçado, o técnico do Harbour tá ali, ó. Passando orientações. Vai começar. O árbitro autoriza. Começa o segundo tempo. O bola rolando. Ah, agora é pra valer. Começou. O bola rolando aqui na Times Brasil. Segundo tempo do Campeonato Jamaicano. As equipes correndo atrás da bola. Vamos lá, em busca do green. E agora com narração em inglês aí, ó. Depois do chute ali da equipe do visitante, o Harbour. O Harbour tá bem no jogo, tá bem no jogo. Bora que bora. Narração em inglês pra vocês, rapaziada.
That's the Joseph.
Oh, it was Joseph.
Yeah, who was bundled over. Welcome to Jamaica.
The land of slight aggression. Here's Gawain Austin now. The dink out wide looking for Satchwell, but Staple nods it back to his keeper.
Now what has happened is Satchwell, if you notice, I'm not sure if Philip Williams or someone was listening to us, but he has drifted wide quite a bit more and more. And Tevin Scott playing almost as a lone striker now.
You really do flatter yourself if you think that they were listening to you.
I did say us.
It would be flattering to us if that was the case.
Good challenge.
Yep, good enough at any rate from Stephen Young. Went down easily, I thought. Referee thought so too. Knight. Rousseau. Gets the return ball. Leaves it to Beadle. Beadle sends it inside. Was there a handball? There was.
Penalty.
Penalty awarded by O'Shea Nation.
Wow, the captain. Wellington. The whistle was very quick from O'Shea Nation.
And that's why not a lot of complaints.
Pênalti, time da casa.
And Emilio Rousseau will place this one on the spot.
Anthony Bennett has been known to save the occasional penalty.
Getting some words of advice and just making Emilio Rousseau wait a little bit longer.
What is that?
He's just fixing an earring. But it may all be a part of the mind games here, as Rousseau looking to get his second goal this season, the 23-year-old, against Anthony Bennett. Bennett wanting to be that distraction. Rousseau looking to get his second this season, and does. Clinical. Emilio Rousseau, his second this season. And the Portmore United, they break Harbour down. Going ahead from 12 yards. Rousseau makes it count. Portmore United with the lead.
Excellent penalty. Very talented left foot, Emilio Rousseau. Doubles his tally for the season, equals his tally for last season. No chance, Anthony Bennett, even though he dived the right way. And now the game will be forced to open up a bit. Harbourview will have to thrust players forward against the best defensive team in Portmore.
Well, good luck to them. It is going to be a difficult task for them to get the better of this Portmore United defence.
Do remember, Harbourview have scored in every game this season, so they will have all confidence of getting back into this fixture. It's the first time Portmore scored against them in 2 years.
Well, Stephen Young just getting there, just showing how eager he is. Satchwell, Leicester, back to Satchwell. Rousseau playing into space, and Beadle. It's a free kick that's been awarded for Harbourview deep in their own half.
Colorado Murray getting back there to do the defensive work. Good job by him.
Harding now.
Seventh goal for Portmore this season.
Lewis on it. They know that they have to move the ball quicker, Harbourview, in order to breach this Portmore United defence. Hamilton's delivery. It's a good one. It's headed away.
Oh, nice turn.
Wonderful from Satchwell.
Wow.
Just running out of room in the end, Shaquan Satchwell. There was the ball inside the area, and it was, I think it was Rudolph Austin with the clearance, you know, with the headed clearance. Harbourview trying to go into a next gear here, the defending champions. Bennett out wide. Lewis collects. Too much on it. Not a lot Harding could have done with that one.
I guess from a neutral's perspective, if you wanted a team to score first, you would have wanted Portmore to score first. They don't score many. Harbourview have been a lot more fluent. They've scored in every game this season.
Oh, this could be some issue here, but Anthony Bennett woke up quickly enough.
So more likely, I guess you would think, for the game to come alive.
Well, Portmore also would have to come out of their shell as well, so I put it to you that it didn't matter who scored first.
Yeah, but it's not been Portmore's style this season. And they've not scored many. They've been quite far calm with...
Oh, what a ball that is! Lewis with the dink inside. Shepherd with the spectacular attempt.
Yeah.
Missed spectacularly. Wellington on it now. They're coming forward in waves, angling. Was looking for the return ball. Wasn't the most accurate. Bennett out wide now.
Yeah, see,
Lewis.
the game a lot more alive, Donald.
Lewis to the byline, sends it across inside the area. And the first touch from Hamilton wasn't the best.
This is the spot the game needed. The tempo of the play a lot too, quite slow so far, and now it's been forced to come alive. There was the expansive effort from Shepherd. Not sure it needed that, but didn't make contact.
Hamilton and Staple, they weren't on the same page on that occasion. Goal kick, punted long. Harbour view again on it. Hamilton trying to make a move inside. Satchwell. Satchwell, was there a late challenge on him? Goal kick awarded. Harding. Staple now. Staple with his ambitious effort.
He's been known for the ambitious Staple. Don't put it past him from any range.
Yeah, it has worked for him on a couple of occasions. Shepherd harassed.
Ronaldo Cephas there. Obviously back from North Macedonia on vacation. Standout player for Arnett Gardens last season. And when he left, they certainly felt it. The most exciting wide player in the Jamaica Premier League up to the point of his exit.
Here's Rousseau with delivery inside. Oh, the missed kick from Tevin Scott. It's not the first time we are seeing that combination working. Tevin Scott's only goal, a spectacular effort, came courtesy of a wonderful ball from Rousseau, which Scott hit on the volley wonderfully well earlier this season inside the Stadium East field. Here's Scott again, has Wellington for company. Of course, Scott has scored 10 goals for Harbour View in the past.
I was going to say what a joy it would be to score against his former team.
Well,
he was on the books last year.
We're not quite sure if we can utilize the word joy, but it will be something.
Yeah.
So Demar Rose comes on in place of Jamon Shepherd. Still yet to get a goal in the Jamaica Premier League, Jamon Shepherd.
Well, Demar Rose started his youth career at Harbour View, then went on to Portmore United. He was on the Portmore United books up to last season and returning to Harbour View. You get a call up to the national squad as well, Demar Rose. There's Amal Knight, he hasn't left yet. But due to migrate to the US and to play in the USL as well. Both himself and Demar Rose, Woolmerians.
We just saw the introduction of Kemar Mullings, who is actually a centre forward coming from Humberline, just 20 years of age. Scored 3 goals in the latter part of last season for Humberline. So he's hoping to make a mark for the Stars of the East.
And he's brought on for Shane Staple.
Yep.
He's a right back.
So maybe Bennett will go out wide over on the right side of the defence. Let's see what happens there. But definitely an attacking change.
Yep, that is what's happening. Bennett to right back. Here is Bennett.
Let's see what impact Kemar Mullings will have.
It's too much on that.
Yep. A lot expected from him, because they need to replace the goals that Trayvon Reed would normally provide. Harding, Rose, Portmore United blocking off the channels here. Harbour View, they have to work overtime. They have the majority of the possession so far, but they really need to manufacture something in the attacking third. That was poor from Timar Lewis. Doesn't look too worried, Dudley Bernard. Oh, that's a wonderful interception from Odlin Harding. And possibly a new attack for Harbour View. Lewis. Attempted shot charged down by Siegel Knight. Bennett a little bit too eager there.
A win for Philip Williams today will put them in at least 5th position. And depending on how many goals they win by, they could actually move up to 4th. Behind Harbour View, who have 15 points. Of course, a win would take them to 14, Portmore. They currently sit in 7th, just outside of the playoff spots.
Anthony Bennett goes down, and immediately Rudolph Austin comes down to look after him.
Not sure what exactly happened. So Williams.
Bernardo Constant is getting ready to come on for Portmore United.
Well, that's a name that can have you wondering as to which comes first. But unfortunate here for Williams. He's having such a good game, Benjamin Williams. Constant wouldn't have had much time to prepare either. I wonder if Harbour can make full use of it. He's getting the encouragement from his teammates. Young goalkeeper, Constant.
Substitution took place 67 minutes.
A belated whistle there. Ron Beadle, not amused at all. Call went in favor of Bennett. Hand in the face. Understand the call. Bennett on it.
Touch again, poor from Bennett. And just allowing the recovery.
Bennett isn't as adventurous as Staple on the right side of the fence. So not quite going gung-ho with Staple coming off. Harbour View being replaced by the striker. Harding now. Kept alive. Hamilton. Wellington. Thing is, Harbour View, they constantly try. Overcooked on that occasion from Harding.
That was so easy from Harding, though. Not a difficult pass by any means. Got to be better than that, Odelin. Puts his hand up right away, but quite frankly, at this level, you've got to be providing a better pass than that. It's a straight pass. Arm to the head of Knight. Did call out right away. Seems to be okay. It's a pat on the head from Stephen Young.
Another whistle on the play. This match punctuated by a lot of fouls.
Portmore hamming it up, rolling on the ground on that occasion. There was not much in it, even though it was a foul. The extra dramatics weren't necessary. Ron Beadle.
Here's a free kick delivered inside and nodded away. Oh, a little bit more than a nod. Rousseau, Austin. Challenge coming in hard, denying Satchwell further progress. Scott hasn't been heavily involved in the game. Tevin Scott. Rousseau's throw met inside. Scott looking for something inside the box. Bennett with a long clearance. Infringement called on Kimar Molynes, who goes into the referee's book.
Not been on the park along Molynes, but yeah, had no intention to play the ball. Just backed into.
I think it was Stephen Young.
Yeah. Very unnecessary. Got it here. No intention to play the ball at all. Just barging into Young.
Beleza, pessoal? Boa noite, sejam bem-vindos. Quem puder deixar o like para me ajudar, agradeço bastante. Deixa o like,
When he was brought on to make an impact, that wasn't
se inscreva no canal e bora em busca do green. Valeu, obrigado pela audiência, deixa o like.
Here's the effort that's wide of the mark from Seagull Knight. Oh, that's a lovely ball through. Corner kick in the end. DeMar Rose trying to manufacture something here.
Yeah, very creative player, very talented player, DeMar Rose. Didn't play much of last season, just 2 goals and an assist.
Lewis with the corner kick. And again, being told to wait. And the discussion is going to be had here.
Shea Nation making it clear he doesn't want any hugging or holding in the area. We've already seen 1 penalty.
This one is whipped inside and there was nobody attacking it at the back post.
Has gone on. A player that last season got into quite a few dangerous areas, promised a lot but couldn't find the back of the net. This season he's rectified that. 5 goals, Arbler the 6. Well, the 6th goal is still with the administration of the Premier League and the officials trying to decide whether it's a goal for Tamar Lewis or an own goal. It was a 4-goal performance, it was thought, then reduced to a hat-trick, and it's still up for grabs whether it's 5 or 6 on the season for him.
Well, it's his best ever return. Tamar Lewis scored 2 in the 19-20 season, 2 in the 18-19 season, 3 in the 17-18 season with Sandals South Coast, remember them?
Oh yeah.
When we thought that would have been put up by Sandals when we do games out west.
They didn't last long.
And we didn't get to stay over.
No.
Austin drives this one, deflected. A chance for Scott. He's going to roll back onto the park just to eat a little bit more time, and then suggests that he be substituted. He suggested that his race has been run, Tevin Scott. Couldn't make an impact against his former team, and the change is going to be made shortly. Rashawn Thompson is coming on.
Rashawn Thompson, who did score in the last game against Falkland, the 3-1 victory, scored the first goal after 27 minutes. Thompson, he's on. So yeah, Thompson is on. Rashawn actually, and not Rashawn Thompson. Did make the transfer from Tivoli Gardens, Rashawn Thompson.
Yep. Followed Philip Williams when he left Tivoli.
Yeah. He's found 1 goal so far.
Rose now.
Portmore don't necessarily need goals, they need to keep another clean sheet.
Bennett, interception made.
Beleza, pessoal,
Nice.
deixa o like, me ajuda por
Lovely
favor.
delivery.
Torcer para vir mais gols.
Thompson. That was heavy from Leicester. Lewis now. Harding. Rose. Lovely Inside to Murray. Hamilton. Murray. Lewis gives chase. Bennett does well. Oh, the delivery had to be better than that. Time for the Sportsmax app moment. And they came from the penalty spot. Emilio Rousseau with the conversion. The difference maker so far in this game, from 12 yards to second this season. And that's the Sportsmax app moment, courtesy of the Sportsmax app. Here they come again. Look to have gone all the way through there. Now it goes the other way. Oh, Anglin did really well to keep that one in play. Harding with the forward thrust. Speaking of thrust, there's Rudolph Austin. Well, the yellow card is shown to Rudolph Austin. I'm assuming it's something that he said, because he didn't stop the play for that.
I think it's that.
Oh, probably it's that.
Yeah, I think it's the swipe at the calf with the studs from Austin, and rightfully so from Australian Nation. Didn't like it. I think he knows what it's all about. Rudolph Austin.
Sean Daly now comes on the park.
Jamal Lewis can't add to his tally for the season. Well, Nugent Hudson's first interaction with the play isn't a good one. Total miscontrol that goes out of play.
Late challenge. Well, wasn't deemed late. The challenge on Sean Daly. Nugent Hudson has come on to replace Nicholas Hamilton. Hamilton actually scored his first ever Jamaica Premier League goal against Portmore United in the 2015-2016 season. Couldn't replicate that this evening. Hamilton. This is Harding. Rose. Portmore United with some issues here. And that's too much from Amal Nugent Hudson.
Pessoal, jogo parado aí. Para atendimento médico, o jogador do Portmore United tá ali caído, jogo parado, hein? E eu falei, né, faz tempo, eu falei que meu palpite é 1-1. Sei que tá difícil para sair gol, tá bem complicado para sair gol, né? Falta poucos minutos, faltam 5 minutos mais os acréscimos, mas eu ainda acho que vai sair um gol. Eu apostei aí em mais de 1.5, tô esperando, né, esse mais de 1.5 acontecer. E eu acho que aqui pra casa o Portmore merecia fazer um golzinho também pra deixar as coisas empatadas. Porque assim, o Harbour aí time visitante fez o gol de pênalti, né? Quer dizer, o Portmore da casa fez o gol de pênalti. E o Harbour ali merecia um golzinho também, entendeu? Um jogo onde todos os 5 escanteios foram da equipe visitante do Harbour. Eu acho que merecia um golzinho também para ficar 1-1, bater ali ambos marcam, bater mais de 1.5 e todo mundo ficar feliz, né? A maioria, né? Beleza? Reta final, faltam 4 minutos e mais os acréscimos. Boa sorte para todo mundo e por favor deixa o like e me ajuda aí, Brasil!
Harding. He's found the space, he's run into it, and Waterhouse with the booming clearance. I think he's probably the leading contender for player of the game this evening, Waterhouse. Rose.
He's certainly up there. Here he is again, Austin.
Well, certainly right into the back of Austin. Did Kamar Molynes.
Yeah, Naito's been good as well. So has Rowan Beadle, actually.
Yep, I agree.
But Beadle has been quite good.
'56th cap this evening for Rowan Beadle. Still want to score a goal in the Premier League, though.
You'd say that's not his job. There's Young sliding across. Solid performance by him as well, the man from Trelawney.
Not the type of game we expected since the goal was scored. It opened up for a few minutes. Half of you went into another gear, we'd say, before the transmission went.
Yeah, I thought they would have continued to push at that high tempo, but it wasn't to be. And then the couple changes with Demar Rose and company coming on, it just didn't inject any more pace into the team. Another Clarendon College man, Jaheen Rose, coming on.
Johnny Fleming's also making his way on the park. For Leicester, Joseph Leicester. We're hearing that 10 minutes of time will be added on. So we're coming straight from the World Cup with that one.
Wow. I think that has to do a lot with Williams, the injury to Williams, and then to Tevin Scott. Those two players working the clock. What they didn't know is that the clock was still ticking.
There's a liver inside, the header not on target. There's a confirmation. 10 whole minutes.
At least.
A right smile from Philip Williams.
Still time for Harbour View, but the sting has gone out of the Harbour View attack.
I think so too. Where will they get inspiration from? It's a strong challenge from Knight. Beadle. Knight lobbing it. Nicely done. Rose. Well, it was always going to be difficult to get by Rudolph Austin, but if anyone was going to survive the challenge, it would have been DeMar Rose.
Yeah, well-timed challenge, as I said. He's been a big player for Portmore today. Rudolph Austin, as expected, showing all his experience. As I say, what a big deal was it for him to, as you say, lead without the armband, allowing another player to take the reins and to develop other young leaders, young captains, and for him to still give his services to this unit and orchestrate things from the back as he has done. What we were speaking about earlier, this is what you want to see when players go overseas and get a wealth of knowledge and experience and exposure to come back to the Premier League, even if it is at the back end of their career, and set the place, set the foundation for others.
Harding running into traffic. Angling now. Bennett. What's happening here? Well,
the fourth official just running on to make sure that no fights took place. Sean Fraser gets a yellow card as well.
Not for the first time.
He hasn't stopped playing all that long, Sean Fraser, so he still gets heated under the collar. He is definitely a player. Yeah, he certainly had something to say. He was talking about the yellow card coming out. Well, it did come out, but for him.
This one is wayward from Ajani Talbot. Jericho also was shown the yellow card as well, just to confirm.
4 clean sheets for Portmore United this season. And they're not far away from adding a 5th.
They could also add a goal here as Beadle taking his time and supplying that pass. And that's a throw into Harbour View.
They will maintain their best defensive record, just 3 goals conceded all season. Portmore United. And they've made it difficult for one of the best attacking teams so far this season in Harbour View. And this would be the first, if it ends this way, that Harbour View have drawn a blank.
Another chance here for the Stars of the East, maybe, depending on the delivery from Anglin. Floats this one, not bad at all, headed away.
That was not the pass at all by Bennett.
Rose now gets a return. Almost did that one through.
That's a foul for sure.
Taking out the wrong place.
Good try. Gives it away.
They get it back though. Nobody out wide. Bennett. Rose. Deflected behind, corner kick for Harbour View. They've got to move quickly. About 3 minutes of stoppages remaining unofficially. Angling to deliver. And this one is headed on target. No issues there. No issues at all for Bernardo Constant. Ball played along the channel. A chance for Portmore United to finish this off here. And Anthony Bennett did really well to stop that one. Murray. Pretty much summing up the evening for Harbour View. Not the quality needed in the attacking third.
Not the kind of evening for Colorado Murray to remember.
Has scored 6 goals against Portmore United. Colorado Murray.
Yeah, and he hasn't even come close today. Was the Golden Boot winner 2018-19 with 13 goals for Tivoli Gardens. Hasn't been able to have that kind of return again. That pass is not going to be affected. Not much time left.
Beleza, pessoal, beleza. Falta muito pouco para acabar o jogo. Falta 1 minuto e faltam 3 pessoas. Se inscreva no canal para chegarmos a 8.780. Por favor, mais 3 pessoas hoje para batermos essa meta aí. E obrigado. Bora para esse finalzinho aí. Tá quase acabando.
another big clearance by Austin. He's certainly been the standout here. I think he just about tips it over Beadle. Here he is again. He's going to make contact. Yes, he is.
He's been asked to do more. And that's that. That's the end of the game. Portmore United, they hold on. A strong defensive display by Rudolph Austin and company. And they can celebrate because they've got the better of the defending champions. London Bernard has a lot to think about, but the unbeaten record has now disappeared. Harbour losing for the first time this season. And Philip Williams' unbeaten run with this team continues. He's building something at Portmore United. And the former champions move up the table. At the end of the 90, Portmore United won. Harbour.
Beleza, pessoal, fim de jogo, terminou 1-0, gol de pênalti, vence a equipe da casa, o Portmore, 1-0, fim de papo, terminou. Quero só agradecer quem acompanhou, a audiência aí boa, tá? Muito boa mesmo, valeu aí. Um jogo sem narração em português, né? Tentamos fazer da melhor maneira possível. Fizemos 2 jogos, né? Fizemos aí 2 jogos na sequência, né? Então, correria, fiz aí a vitória do 15 Jaú para cima da Aparecidense 1-0, narrei o jogo na sequência. Vim aqui para Jamaica para fazer esse jogo legal aí, né? Teve só um gol, infelizmente, né? Muitos aí apostaram em mais de 1.5, como eu, né? Fui aí também no mais de 1.5, muitos colocaram ambos marcam, mas não deu muito bom para a maioria, né? Mas é assim, né? Que só sabe como é complicado quem aposta. Quem não aposta não sabe como que é. Só para atualizar, o jogo do Flamengo, né? Contra o Floresta do Ceará, tá com 83 minutos, né? E tá 0-0, tá? Só para avisar. Flamengo e Floresta tá 0-0. E eu vou me despedir, né? Lá faltam 7 minutos para terminar o jogo. Eu vou me despedir, vou cuidar aqui, porque amanhã é outro dia. Amanhã acabou minha folga, né? Amanhã tem que trabalhar. Muitos comentários. Deixa eu ler aqui os comentários rapidamente, né? Muitos comentários. Pessoal participando em peso aí. Eu vou deixar aqui, ó, o campinho do jogo do Flamengo aí. Até eu ler os comentários, ó. O campinho e as estatísticas, ó. O jogo do Flamengo e do Floresta. Vou deixar aí pra vocês verem as estatísticas e o campinho aí pra vocês acompanharem enquanto eu leio os comentários, né? E aqui, deixa eu ver. O John, sabe o que eu tô fazendo? O time que tá com a odd maior, eu tô entrando. Foi que nem no da Jamaica, tá falando aí. O John tá dando uma dica aí, né? A Ana Maria Trindade. Tá Freud esse toma, hein? Tá Freud, é complicado. Ó, o nosso jogo terminou, tá? Eu coloquei na tela o campinho virtual pra vocês acompanharem esses últimos minutos do jogo do Flamengo, tá certo? Antes de eu ler o chat aqui, a Liliane. Vai ser bom a Copa do Nordeste quinta-feira. Eu vou fazer. Quinta-feira eu vou fazer América e Motoclube. Acaba logo, mundão. Oxi. Falou o Emanuel Santos. Deixa eu ver aqui. O William Jorge. O jogo do Manchester pode ser que um tempo ele vença. Vence no primeiro tempo. Entendi. William Jorge. O John aqui. John. Oxi. Deixa eu ver aqui. Quero apostar no Brasileirão. O Emanuel. Copa do Nordeste. Não é isso não. É boa. A Copa do Nordeste é top. Eu gosto. A Ana Maria, ótimo lance. Emanuel, sou de Pernambuco. Olinda é top, hein? Olinda, uma cidade bastante turística, né? O Emanuel dos Santos é lá de Olinda. Prefiro Brasileirão. E a Ana Maria, eu também, sou de Pernambuco. Jaboatão dos Guararapes? Será que é isso? Não sei, mano. Vou falar besteira que eu não sei, mas Jaboatão lá no Pernambuco, a Ana Maria Trindade. E o William Jorge, Brasileirão e Turquia é bom. O Emanuel, minha conterrânea. Fim de jogo, eu perdi meus R$20. A Liliane foi igual eu aí no... Tava confiando nesse 1x1, não deu certo não. Que jogo feio, mais feio do que eu. Eu tô falando, né? Eu completei aí a fala da Liliane Gamers. O Emanuel Santos, ganhei já ganhou 1. E o William Jorge, eu perdi 4,80. Liliane, tá osso. O Emanuel, 0x0. Tá aí, ó, o campinho virtual, ó, pra vocês verem aí, faltam 4 minutos, ó. 4 minutos e mais os acréscimos nessa pelada entre Flamengo e Floresta aí no Sub-20 da Copa São Paulo. Vou jogar 50. Cadê? No Floresta. KKK, arriscado, hein? Arriscado? Muito arriscado, né, William? Muito arriscado. Liane, quando Floresta ganhar, fique sabendo que coloquei 400 no bolso. Cara, 400 no Floresta? Aí vai ficar rindo à toa a Liliane. Vai faltar espaço na carteira recheada da Liliane, hein? E o William Jorge, essa semana, tô ruim de grana. Se eu tiver uns 2,50 é muito. Complicado. Vou tentar R$2 amanhã. KKK. Ou ganha ou não, né? Sempre assim, ou ganha ou não, né, William Jorge? E o John FF, valeu, irmão, por transmitir pra nós. E a Liliane, vou estar ligado aqui na quinta. Ô, top, hein? Amanhã eu tô em dúvida se eu faço o jogo do Avaí ou faço da Chapecoense. Tô em dúvida ainda, hein? Que situação. E o William Jorge, até mais pra vocês. Aí, boa sorte, Liliane, na aposta do Flamengo. Muito boa sorte. Falta pouco e tem falta ali pro Floresta, hein? Obrigado, William. Faltam 2 minutos mais os acréscimos, né? Eu vou deixar aqui rolar. É o único jogo no ao vivo agora, né? Esse Flamengo aí e Floresta, Sub-20, Copa São Paulo de Juniores, competição muito top. Tá ali 0x0, hein? Dramático. Tá pior do que a Liga Jamaicana, hein? Que teve só um gol, foi de pênalti, mas teve, né? William Jorge, Liliane, vai ganhar 400 e me manda 40. Boto fé nela. William Jorge já quer 10% da fatia do bolo aí. É brincadeira, hein? É brincadeira. Deixa eu ver aqui, ó. Assim, a nossa programação tá mais ou menos assim, ó. Nosso rascunho para os nossos próximos jogos, né? Amanhã a tendência vai ser Avaí e Ceilândia ou Chapecoense, mas eu acho que eu vou fazer o Avaí e Ceilândia, 8 horas. Na quarta-feira vai ter duelo nordestino aqui na Copa São Paulo de Juniores. Sampaio Correia e Itabaiana. Quarta-feira é Sampaio Correia e Itabaiana, jogo às 8h15 da noite. Na quinta-feira tem América de Natal e Motoclube. 8 da noite, fase qualificatória da Copa do Nordeste. Já na sexta-feira vou fazer América de Natal de novo, só que dessa vez Sub-20, né, pela Copinha. Na quinta-feira, América de Natal e Avaí, 8 da noite. No sábado, a tendência de nós fazemos 7 da noite, Red Bull Bragantino e ABC de Natal, jogo da Copa São Paulo de Juniores. E às 22h10 tem a Liga do México, pra valer agora, hein? Volta aí a Liga Mexicana com o torneio Clausura, né? Liga MX, no sábado, 10 da noite, Atlas e Toluca, aqui na Times Brasil. Domingo, tô querendo fazer aí Copa da Inglaterra, 9h30 da manhã, Bristol City e Cesena, não sei falar não. entendeu? Depois 5h15 também tem Floresta e Aparecidense, quero fazer. E à noite 9h30 tem mais Jamaica, hein? Montego Bay e Dunbeholden. O ruim é que eu não sei falar o nome dos times, né? É complicado. E aqui continua, né? Um drama de um 0-0 dramático, né? Hoje tivemos aí Penapolense 4, Penapolense 0, Capivariano 4, Cruzeiro 5, Comercial do Mato Grosso do Sul 0, Brancana 1, Guarani 4, Grêmio e Cruzeiro de Arapiraca 0-0, 15 de Jaú 1, Aparecidense 0, eu narrei esse gol aí, fizemos esse jogo, né? 15 de Jaú 1, Aparecidense 0. E agora esse Flamengo aí e Floresta, dramático 0-0 e não sai gol de jeito algum, né? Deixa eu ver aqui os comentários. Deixa eu ver aqui. O William Jorge dando risada. KKK narrador. É claro, ai. Pensamento positivo, pensamento positivo, tá certo. Rapaz, eu já quero me recolher aqui. Este jogo aí do Flamengo e do Floresta tá lá, um negócio em um enrosco, né? Ninguém faz gol, não acaba. Olha só, teve 13 escanteios no Flamengo lá em Floresta. Não termina, hein? 13 escanteios, 3 cartões amarelos. Você pode ver ali embaixo nas estatísticas, ó. 13 finalizações do Flamengo e 13 finalizações do Floresta. Floresta tá ali, ó. Jogo muito equilibrado, hein? 52% de bola do Flamengo, 48% do Floresta. Só falta o gol, né? Só falta isso. Olha quem chegou atrasado, mas chegou para dar o like. Obrigado aí pela presença, cobrador. Antes tarde do que nunca. Narrador, voltei. Deveria ter apostado na Copa. É, verdade, hein? Se tivesse apostado lá no grande Grêmio e no grande Flamengo, estaria bom, né? Você gosta de poucos gols. Tá excelente. Estaria rico. Grêmio e Flamengo. A banca fazendo a festa. Olá, Lilian. O pessoal só manda oi pra Liliana aí, com certeza, né? E o William Jorge, nome legal, né? O William Jorge. Verdade, viu, cobrador? Pra você que gosta de empate e encher os bolsos, ele gosta de under, né? Não gosta de gols, né? Ele é inimigo dos gols, né? O cobrador de churrasco é inimigo dos gols. Pessoal, tô torcendo pra acabar esse jogo do Flamengo aí, ó. Deixei o campinho aí virtual pra vocês acompanharem aí os últimos minutos, mas parece que lá é embaçado, hein? Eu tô sem as imagens aqui, deixa eu pegar aqui as imagens rapidamente pra me ver o que tá acontecendo ali entre Flamengo e Floresta, hein? Um clássico aí, brincadeiras à parte, mas Flamengo tá com dificuldades, hein? Tá ali indo pra 94 minutos de jogo, permanece Flamengo e Floresta, ninguém quer fazer gol, será que é isso? Que coisa, hein? Que absurdo, 0-0, ninguém merece, hein? Deixa eu ver aqui se eu consigo as imagens desse jogo aí. Copa São Paulo, tá aqui meio enrolado, hein? Tá meio enrolado, ninguém faz gol. Deixa eu ver o que tá acontecendo aqui. Deixa eu ver aqui, tá tendo substituição ali no... Substituição no Floresta. O jogo não acaba não, foram 5 de acréscimo, hein? Vai acabar o jogo, foi 5 minutos de acréscimo, vai terminar, hein? Vai terminar lá no jogão, teve a alteração, entrou o Adriilson, entrou ali na equipe do Floresta. O jogo não acaba, vai terminar. Últimos segundos, o árbitro deu 5 de acréscimo. O jogo é no mesmo estádio, né, que fizemos agora há pouco, né? 15 de Jaú, 1 Aparecidense 0. Vai terminar Flamengo e Floresta. Foi 5 de acréscimo, já ultrapassamos o tempo de acréscimo aí. Um jogo triste para quem gosta de gols, né? Mais um 0-0 na competição. O Floresta vai fazendo um jogo duro aí contra o Flamengo. O Flamengo não consegue vencer. Com esse placar, quem agradece é o time da casa, o 15 de Jaú, que venceu hoje e vai ficando líder do grupo. Líder, 15 de Jaú, 3 pontos, Flamengo e Floresta 1 ponto e a Aparecidense nenhum ponto. Vai terminar o jogo. O juizão tá ali, olhando pro relógio. Vamos lá, né? Já era pra estar acabado. Olha só o Flamengo. Eu não vou narrar não, hein? Mas tava no ataque o Flamengo, hein? Vai terminar o jogo. A bola saiu. É lateral pra quem? Deu lateral pro Flamengo? Deu escanteio. Rapaz, um enrosco aqui, o jogo não acaba. Vem o Flamengo. Vamos lá, vai ser o último lance? É lateral. O jogo do Flamengo e do Floresta não acaba. Nos grupos do Zap. E agora que o povo está revoltado. Falou aí o cobrador e o William Jorge. Verdade. Cobrador, encheu o bolso mesmo, hein? Pois é, cobrador. Jogos bons pra você. Acabou 0x0. Acabou? Acabou. Acabou. Termina lá. Lá em Jaú. Termina lá, eu vou dormir. Vou dormir, acabou também aqui, acabou lá. E bora descansar. Flamengo empata com Floresta na Estrela Copa São Paulo Juniores. Aqui, né, nós terminamos aqui na Jamaica, já faz um tempinho. 1 pro Portmore United, 0 pro Harbour. Voltamos amanhã, se assim Deus nos permitir, tá bom? Muito boa noite a todos. A minha ideia é fazer amanhã o jogo do Havaí. Havaí e Ceilândia. Mas também tem a possibilidade de eu mudar de ideia e fazer Chapecoense e Inter de Minas, beleza? Ótima noite. Fui. Até amanhã. Fiquem todos com Deus. Valeu, Brasil. Tchauzinho. Deixa eu ver aqui mais algum comentário, né? Deixa eu ver aqui o pessoal participando. Firme e forte conosco aí. 32 likes. Obrigado pelo like. Jogo não acabou. John acabou. Acabou, tá? Acabou. É isso aí. Valeu, William Jorge. Valeu, John. Valeu, Cobrador de Churrasco. Liliane. Todo mundo acompanhando aí. Valeu aí, meus amigos. Emanuel. É isso aí. Fui! Narrador já começa. Vai começar o quê? Tamil Nandu e Assam. Terceira divisão da Índia. Olha que legal, um prato cheio, mas eu vou embora. Fui, Brasil. Tchau, galera. Até amanhã. Fui. Times Brasil. Paixão pelo futebol.